It's time. It's time. It's time to grow and glow, and I have the guide for you. Happy Monday. How are you? How was y'all's weekend? It's been this week and this weekend, it went by so fast. I can't even believe it's Monday again. So that's crazy. Now, it's Coach Faith, as you should know already. Y'all remember last week, it was really chill. We just talked about my vacation, the importance of spending time with your family and all those good things like that. All right. Now, today we're getting back into our topic for this month. Remember, the topics for this month is self-love and self-worth. And that's what we're focusing on. This week, we're going to talk about loving me out loud. Last time we talked about self-love, we actually defined exactly what self-love is. Since we know what self-love is, we need to start living out loud and living in our truth. Okay? So, you already know how we start. Take a deep breath. And this is our affirmation that we're going to use for the entire week. Listen at this. The more I love myself out loud, the quieter doubt becomes. I am proud of who I am, and I will continue to love myself boldly in every space I enter. Oh, hey, that's powerful, right? Because you need to know you have to love yourself out loud. Okay. And I think that is very, very important for us. It's very important for all of us. Okay. Now, listen, when you start actually loving yourself out loud, a lot of things start to change for you because you're not afraid anymore. We defined what self-love was last week, but at the end of the day, now we know that's what self-love is. We need to learn how to actually live in it and be committed to it. Remember, when we talked about confidence, I think last month, we talked about how you have to have a commitment and you have to have a desire. Y'all can't see, but my producer back here, I don't even know if she's my producer or my director. She's back here mouthing the word like this. I'm singing. I'm sorry. So, listen, when you start loving yourself out loud, everything starts to change for you. Let me explain. And I want you to understand that when it comes to loving yourself out loud, you need to know that we're not talking about volume, right? We're not talking about actually out loud. When we say love yourself out loud and be bold about who you are and about loving yourself, it's more about being in alignment with exactly what you want and what you want and deserve and what your self-love looks like. That's what I mean. Now, I have to understand too that when I'm talking about alignment, I'm talking about your presence. I'm talking about your desires, your decisions, your energy. All of them reflect that you value yourself. That's what I mean. Because self-love is essentially all about valuing who you are and letting people know that I value myself so much that I know what I deserve out of this life, out of other people, and all those good things like that. Okay. Now, we all know that it is so easy to talk about self-love. It's so easy to post affirmation. It's so easy to post quotes. It's so easy to get on social media and be like, oh, this is what self-love looks like. But we have to understand to a certain point that is a facade. Now, look, we're talking about, we just said, self-love. It's easy to talk about, post and share affirmations, but you have to understand that when it comes to loving yourself out loud, that's a practice. And like I just said, that is a commitment. You need to be committed to loving yourself. That's what it's about. And also it's about walking away from, situations that no longer serve you, even when they're familiar. And that's the same thing. That's the same thing of outgrowing people because they're familiar to you. But then when you start loving yourself and start seeing exactly that they are not valuing the person that you are trying to become now, you have to let that go. And you have to walk away and remove yourself with those specific situations. And that's what we're going to dig deeper into today. As we always talk about when it comes to self-love, it's not about watering yourself down to be able to fit into certain groups, into certain places, into certain things. Because at the end of the day, if you have to shrink yourself or fit somewhere that you're not supposed to be, that means it wasn't for you in the first place. Am I right? Or am I semi-right? I think I'm right. Now, let me give you a little story. Let me tell you something right here. So I joined this group. Okay. I'm not gonna say the group name or anything like that, but I joined this group and it's for business women and it's for empowering women and everything like that. But I think I've talked about this maybe a few weeks ago. I came to realize that everything isn't for everyone. So that group may work for some people, but it doesn't work for me. And that's something that I really had to pull myself to realize is that, even if they feel some type of way about me, they don't like that I left, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, I have to do what's best for me because I love myself enough to be able to make decisions for myself to know what I deserve and what makes me feel good. If everybody else in the group is feeling good, that's awesome. That's wonderful, wonderful. But if I don't feel good about it, I have to remove myself from that situation. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if that story makes sense or how it aligns, but I just want you to understand that, something may look good on social media or on paper, but you have to actually experience it first to really see if there's something that works for you. You get what I'm saying? And honestly, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me because I wanted to be, and I still want to be a part of something that's for women, something that is for women as business, something that, helps you grow and helps you grow your business as well as growing friendships at the same time. But it's not easy because it's human nature for us to think about what people will think when we make certain decisions. But that's not what self-love is about, and that's not what self-love is. Self-love is making decisions and doing things for yourself, not giving a fuck about what people will think, what people will say, because that shit doesn't fucking matter. And I feel like I say that every fucking episode, but it's the truth. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to bettering yourself and becoming the best version of you, you have to do things that are for you. Right. So after I left this group or whatever, I kind of felt a little shitty because I was like, damn, like, I don't want them to think like, this group is not good. This group is not, doing what they want this group to do. When at the end of the day, it doesn't really fucking matter what they think about what I did because it was my decision. All right. And I always want to say too that it's not just easy for women, but for all of us who are in that Black LGBTQ community, it's also not easy for us to walk away from situations that we want to be a part of because we yearn for it. And that's what we want. You know what I mean? And it's not just for the Black LGBT community. I think it's just for any minority, for you to try to be a part of something that you aren't the majority of, or you don't see majority of yourself. But remember, if you're having to shrink yourself to be somewhere, that wasn't the room or that isn't the place for you anyway. So find things or find places and find groups that actually specifically is for you, for what you're looking for, and actually for what you need for any stage in your life. Now, loving yourself out loud is refusing to hide those parts of you that make you you. And I feel like that is very important because when it comes to being yourself and loving yourself, you have to be you no matter what. Right? If you are a Black, queer, flamboyant man, be a Black, queer, flamboyant man everywhere you fucking go. You know what I mean? Like, be yourself. If you are a Black, queer, masculine presenting woman, be that in everywhere you go. And if you're even just a queer person or a trans person or any kind of person that is different from the majority, make sure you're you out loud. Express yourself out loud. That is what self-love is, in expressing yourself, no matter what. And a lot of us don't like to do that because we're looking for acceptance. And wow, I wasn't eating the nose. Ooh, shit. But it's, you want to be accepted. Sometimes we have to come to the realization that everyone isn't going to accept us. And even though that's hurtful, it really is so hurtful. It's the truth though. Everyone is not going to like how your life is. Everyone is not going to agree with your life and how you live your life, but who fucking cares? When it comes to loving yourself, you do not need to look for acceptance because if you accept yourself and you love yourself enough to accept yourself, that is all that matters. That's it. And I love my queer people because I am part of that community as well. But it's not just about us queer people. This is about everyone. Because you could be a I don't want to say straight, but what is it? A heterosexual person and still deal with some of these things that we deal with, because at the end of the day, you are yearning to be in some place that you don't have no business being in, or you're yearning for someone to accept something that you do in your lifestyle or even accept your job, and you shouldn't have to do that. Self-love is all about you and what you need for you and how to show up for you. Okay? Now we're talking about, loving yourself out loud and what that means and how that's supposed to make you feel. And I know you're probably like, now, like, Faith, what the fuck? How do I do this? I'm going to give you 5 ways on how you can start loving yourself out loud. Now, listen, number 1, correct people even if it feels awkward. Let me break that down a little bit. If my name is Sophia, okay, and my name is spelled Sofia, and someone spells it Sophie, that's a problem, because that's not my name. And it may feel awkward to correct someone in that instance, but at the end of the day, you ain't spelling my name right, so I need you to fix that. And it may feel like, damn, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is your name, and you have to put some respect on your name. Put some respect on your name. Put some respect on your name. But no, for real. Because you need to speak up, and you need to know that your truth deserves clarity and not compromise. Because we can even say it like this. Let's talk about pronouns. If your pronouns are they, them, but someone is talking to you and saying she or he, how that's going to make you feel? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's going to make you feel she, because you're not respecting me, who I am as a person. And you need to correct someone for that. Because I know when someone is transitioning, this is something that they hold very close to their heart. So if someone is not respecting that, or someone is saying something incorrectly, you need to know that you have to love yourself so much to, I'm not saying be rude, but correct them and be respectful about it. That is something that's worth speaking up for. And you have to love yourself enough to do that. Okay? Now, number 2, stop editing your excitement. What you mean, Faith? Let me tell you. If I got a new job or something, right? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so excited about this. I'm low-key excited. You ain't low-key excited. You are excited. Don't edit that, or, don't edit that or minimize that because you don't want to feel like you're bragging. There's nothing wrong with bragging. If you have reached a certain point in your life that you have been waiting for, it's okay to be excited about it, and you shouldn't feel guilty about being excited about something that you earned or an achievement that you did, because you did it and you should be happy for yourself about that. No more low key, no more, oh no, this is not a big deal. Yes, it is, because you did it. So if you're excited about something, do not dim down your excitement or dim your light because you don't want to seem like you're bragging. If you want to brag, who cares? That's up to you, and that's what you want to do. You worked for it. You grew for it. So in that case, you need to be excited for it. All right? Self-love out loud means letting your joy be just as loud as the struggle used to be. Unapologetically. So I want you guys to even be excited about loving yourself. This is exciting. And I want you to make sure that you are knowing that this is a big deal. Okay? Now, number 3, leave conversations that don't feel safe mid-sentence. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you one thing about my partner. She'll not text back in a minute. If you say some shit she don't like, or you say some shit that she don't agree with, she not going to text you back. She ain't going to call you back. She ain't going to talk to you ever again. You know what I'm saying? But I said that to say that she loves herself. You get what I'm saying? To know exactly, like, hey, if I don't fuck with this, I'm not even going to entertain you anymore or entertain you any longer, because that is not for me. You have to understand, like, if the energy feels off, if somebody vibe is changing and they talking to you and you don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, you can leave. You don't have to explain anything to anyone. Because when it comes to loving yourself, again, you know what you deserve, and you're not going to let anyone talk to you any kind of way or make you feel any kind of way. Just like I was talking about that group that I joined, I left. Look, me, I don't even care. Like, Me still was just like, hey, fuck it. Like, because at the end of the day, when you leave something or you do not, feel like that you're a part of something, sometimes people try to pull you back in. You get what I'm saying? Or say, hey, like, this is what we about. We didn't really mean it. This is not who we are. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck what you mean. I don't give a fuck what you do. If I feel like it was disrespectful to me or I feel like the energy change was judging me, fuck it. Because self-love means knowing when silence is self-preservation. Which is meaning that if I don't fuck with you or what you saying don't fuck with me, I'm gonna tell you something. And I have to tell you something about it. All right, number 4. Say thank you instead of deflecting compliments. So if someone says, hey, I love that dress you have, or you say, oh, this old thing, I just pulled inside of my closet. Stop doing that. Say thank you. Say thank you. They went out of their way to give you a compliment. Say thank you and appreciate that, because you have to know that you deserve that compliment. Even though you may not think it was the best thing that you wore, but somebody does. And that should be something that you're like, oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Don't say anything else but that. Don't push it away. Don't water it down. Remember, receiving love is a part of self-love. So when someone says thank you, man, appreciate that and don't deflect it and actually say, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for you thinking of me and thinking that I look well, even though I don't think I look well myself, So that should be something that, oh, and this is lemon and lime water. Just know that. Don't push it away, man. When someone says that you're glowing or that you're doing great, believe them and accept that. That's good. Okay? Number 4, make decisions that don't need defending. You don't have to explain that you're resting. You don't have to explain that, you're leaving somewhere. You don't have to explain why you left. You don't have to explain any decision that you make. Let me just tell you something, okay? This situation of me leaving this group is actually coming up a lot in this fucking thing right here, because I don't have to explain to myself why I left something. I don't have to explain to them why I left something. If I don't like something, I don't like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. So if I had to leave, I had to leave it. That is what it is. And like I said, I'm gonna keep saying, those are great women. Those women are awesome. All I'm trying to say is everything is not for everybody. That's it. Everything is not for everybody, and people flourish in different ways or different things, and that's okay. Now we're talking about making decisions and we don't need to defend them. Remember I think maybe a few months ago, we talked about the word no and how no is a complete sentence. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. No is a complete sentence and no is a decision, right? If I'm telling you no, I'm deciding to say no and I need to say no and that's it. I don't have to defend or anything like that. We're talking about making decisions and saying that they don't need defending. We're making sure that it aligns with our growth, aligns with the person that we're becoming. And if it doesn't, we have to say no without feeling guilt. Remember, every fucking day we're working on becoming the best version of ourselves. And in order for us to do that, we have to learn to love ourselves so much to say no to things that we don't want to do, or say no to things that does not align with the person that we're trying to become. All right? So I'm going to say those 5 again. Number 1, correct people even if it feels awkward. 2, stop editing your excitement. 3, leave conversations that don't feel safe mid-sentence. 4, say thank you instead of deflecting compliments. And 5, make decisions that don't need defending. Oh my gosh. Isn't this crazy? Doesn't this get you thinking a little bit, kind of like, damn, self-love is all of these things? Yes, it is. Right? And I want you guys to remember, this is your feel-good station. That's why we're talking about self-love, because I want you to feel good about yourself. Remember, we're doing self-love and self-work because both of them go hand in hand. We talked about confidence last month. Now we have to talk about how to love our confident self and show ourselves that we're worthy of all the things that we want and need out of this life. Okay? Now, you know what time it is. Grow and Glow Challenge. The Grow and Glow Challenge. All right, so our Grow and Glow Challenge for this week, since we didn't have one last week, I feel this so much. It is so deep. So this is our challenge this week. Unfollow what feeds your self-doubt. Scroll through your feed and unfollow at least 5 people, pages, or accounts that trigger comparison, shame, or insecurity. And I want you to replace them with people who remind you of your worth, your joy, and your growth. Remember, what you consume affects how you show up. Love yourself enough to curate peace. Ooh. Now, let me just say something about this challenge. So I wanted to do this challenge because I actually did this last week. I unfollowed some people on my Facebook because just being honest, comparison purposes, right? Just looking at people and like, damn, they have all these things. I don't have this, right? Some people were that, and then other people were, y'all are doing all these things that are not aligning exactly with who I am now. So, the people that I unfollow, they're drinking, they're partying and every fucking night and out the club every fucking night, do all those things. I used to do that, but I don't do that anymore. That doesn't bring me joy anymore. I mean, I like to do it every now and again, but it's not an everyday thing for me. And I feel like that affects me because I'm looking at like, damn, that looks so much fun, but that's not where I am anymore. I had my fun and I had that time in my life. There's nothing wrong with doing it every once in a while, but every fucking night is exhausting. That's just what I think to me. So I had to unfollow them. Now, it says replace them, and sometimes, you don't even have to replace them. Just unfollow them to get those comparisons out your mind, get that shame out your mind, and get that insecurity out your mind. You have to. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to us and, loving ourselves, we need to make sure that we get rid of that comparison because comparison is a killer. We talked about this all the fucking time. I think we talk about this shit every fucking week, man. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You have to do this. This is your life. You do this for you. Okay? They don't want to be like you, and you should want to be like them. Now, look, man, it's been, shit, I don't know how long it's been now, but it's been a few minutes that we talked about some deep stuff. And these are things that I want to make sure that you guys are thinking about when it comes to loving yourself out loud and knowing that you deserve to love yourself out loud. So before we end everything, I want us to take a deep breath. And I want you to just know that you're worthy of loving yourself, right? You're worthy of loving yourself inside, outside. You're worthy of loving yourself everywhere. All right. So I hope the things that we talked about, they resonated with you guys today. And also, too, if we talked about things, you're still like, damn, Faith, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Listen, I'm your life coach. All right, come to me so we can work together to see what we need to do to make sure that you can love yourself to your full capacity and become the best version of yourself. All right. I do offer a free 15-minute consultation. I'll put the link in the bio so you guys can be able to, check that out. And we can talk about those things. We can talk about exactly what you want to do to become the best version of you. And I think that's important for us. All right. Now, you already know who it is. It's Coach Faith, another week, another glow up. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide. And remember, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all those good things. And we will see you guys next week. Ciao.